Hello, welcome to our online guests. My name is Anka Kula, and together with Christina Zetterlund, we are the co-curators of this year's Luleå Biennial. The biennial, which is actually coming to an end this weekend, takes place in a number of different locations throughout Norrbotten, and has also
You just give me the thumbs up.
Can say hello. A number of exhibitions, and has taken place through a festival and an online learning platform, which is where we are today, which is the Learning Room. And this evening's Learning Room event is an introduction and film screening of Autohoodening, The Rise of Captain Swing by the Post Workers Theatre Collective and Infinite Opera. And Post Workers Theatre and Infinite Opera have been invited by the Biennial to show their film in a site-specific installation at Havremagasinet in Boden. And their work not only interacts with the history of the building itself at Havremagasinet, but with the kind of ongoing green energy developments within Boden and the Norrbotten region. And so their work really kind of intersects with the kind of site, but also kind of extends out into some of the kind of current developments and current kind of issues and questions that have been raised around Norrbotten and its kind of green energy futures that are somehow being kind of situated there. And so Post Workers Theatre are a collective reimagining historic forms of workers' theatre for the kind of contemporary kind of landscape of work and labour. And today they are also joined by Infinite Opera, who are working in various ways to kind of mediate and make opera accessible. And so we will start today with a short introduction of the work by Post Workers Theatre and Infinite Opera, and they will kind of talk about the film work that they have done and also the kind of site-specific installation. And then through the Learning Room platform, we will do a kind of one-off screening of Autohoodening, the Rise of Captain Swing. And so I'm going to hand over to my online guests, and I want to say thank you for participating in this event. And after Post Workers Theatre and Infinite Opera have done their introduction, we will screen the film live, which is an hour-long screening, and I will give the kind of thumbs up for when that is about to happen. So welcome, and I'll pass on the mic to my guests.
Thank you so much, Anka, and we're delighted to be here and to be introducing the Auto. I'm Dash, Post Workers Theatre, joined by Nick, Dem, Danny and Rox from Infinite Opera. And as Post Workers Theatre, we're going to start by just giving a kind of introduction to the kind of process and the kind of development of the project. And I guess before we start by kind of talking Autohoodening, we need to talk about hoodening. Nick and I are both from East Kent, in the kind of bottom east corner of the UK. And we came across this local custom called hoodening, where farm labourers would go out and perform a sort of carnivalesque satire of their working reality in the fallow season before Christmas, when they couldn't plough and work in the fields. They would kind of perform door to door in keeping with other kind of guising traditions from the UK and across kind of Europe to get beer and kind of money for Christmas. Again, we were kind of really interested in this as a kind of form of kind of amateur and kind of workers' theatre, and we kind of wanted to kind of learn more about the custom and the kind of different kind of components of it. So we kind of started by kind of looking into the existing kind of documentation of kind of hoodening, visiting kind of archives such as the Maidstone Museum in Kent, and kind of connecting with existing kind of revival hoodening troops like the St Nicholas and Wade and Canterbury Hoodeners, and we learnt about the different characters. In hoodening, you have the Hooden horse effigy, a kind of wooden horse on a stick with some kind of hessian that someone holds and kind of snaps at the audience. You have Molly, who's a man dressed as a woman who kind of sets the scene for the play by kind of sweeping with a broom. You have a farm boy or kind of farm hand that kind of works, and a kind of wagon master and a quack doctor. So these characters are always the same, and the narrative structure kind of centers around kind of death and resurrection. The horse always dies and is kind of brought back to life by a kind of quack doctor in a kind of comic fashion. So we were interested in how we could kind of take these characters and this kind of narrative structure and this idea of a kind of door-to-door kind of performance and update that for a kind of contemporary context, thinking about the kind of transition from precarious kind of farm labor over 200 years ago to kind of precarious work now within the kind of context of platform capitalism and kind of e-commerce. So we started to kind of then think about seasonal precarious work and kind of specifically kind of Amazon and the kind of way workers are kind of brought in kind of exhausted and then kind of fired over the kind of peak kind of Christmas season. And we wanted to kind of develop this idea of kind of auto-hoodening as a kind of collective inquiry to kind of as a kind of, guess, a form of sort of consciousness raising for the kind of appalling working conditions and the human and environmental impact of what's behind that kind of one-click delivery kind of model.
Thanks.
I'm going to hand over to Nick now to talk a bit more about how we started to do that.
Yeah, so taking a lot of the kind of research that we learned that Dash has just outlined, Post Workers Theatre went on to develop a kind of symposium and a workshop that would sort of help us connect with a variety of kind of experts, both in folk history as well as contemporary worker struggle, to help us kind of perform a more collective or collaborative approach to developing both the kind of project as a whole and the specific storylines involved. This event was hosted in 2019 at Goldsmiths University, and we invited the journalist James Bloodworth, who'd spent 6 months working undercover in an Amazon fulfillment center and writing a subsequent book about his experiences. We also invited folk historian George Frampton, the author of one of the most recent sort of books on hoodening, as well as Ben Jones of the St. Nicholas at Wade Hoodeners, who we'd previously connected with. And we brought these people kind of together to share positions, to kind of open up questions and debate the possibilities of constructing new narratives that, as Dash said before, that we were interested in, that would perform a kind of consciousness raising sort of platform within the format of a new calendar custom, sort of updating hoodening. Following the symposium, we worked with a really small kind of group of participants to take some of the ideas developed in that symposium into a sketch, which kind of produced new characters created in response to both folk history as well as items of surveillance technology that we would see in Amazon fulfillment centers. And beyond that, we then took the sketch and those characters and commissioned the theatre maker James Frost, who's also a kind of current practicing hoodener. And we asked him to turn these characters into real costumes, you know, really kind of tangible folk costumes that could perform and activate both the characters and the kind of concerns that we'd initially sketched out. Some of these kind of contemporary costumes would start to morph kind of traditional hoodening with contemporary Amazon elements, such as Alexis, the handheld scanner used by Amazon pickers and packers, who performs the role of the hood and horse, snapping violently to keep the workers in check. And also the Molly character, which has sort of taken the form of a Kiva bot, which is the automated robot used by Amazon fulfillment centers that have started to replace human labor. And then we sort of moved into the second phase of the project, which sort of starts to develop the kind of operatic. And I'll just hand over to Dem, who's going to sort of take us through that.
Thank you, Nick, and hello, everyone. So yeah, moving on from what Nick just mentioned, we then further developed the initial script created in the symposium by connecting with the GMB Union, which was really important for us to introduce to them the project and the kind of inquiry that we had opened up, and to start a dialogue. And let's not forget, this was at the height of the pandemic when we were doing this, where online shopping and particularly Amazon had gone into overdrive, and its demands of the workers became a lot more extreme to the already difficult conditions Amazon were facing. So that, and compiled with a series of walkouts and strikes by Amazon workers across the globe, it was important to engage and understand more about what was going on. So we had a series of online meetings with them and heard about the horrific conditions the workers were facing at the time. And through worker testimonies that were shared with us, we understood how the complexity of authority in relation to the algorithm created a loss of agency with some of the workers, such as the line manager, and how this impacted on the loss of dignity in the workplace. And so we made it apparent in the script to include the line manager character who is unable to make decisions for themselves, even in the most extreme cases, such as a severe hand injury that one of the workers endures. So the interviews and the testimonies were then transcribed, and we started to develop a larger story in collaboration with Infinite Opera, and using characters such as Captain Swing, who historically was the fictional face of worker dissent during the Great English Agricultural Uprising of 1830, who is resurrected to confront the horrors of working as a seasonal associate in an Amazon fulfillment center. And from there created an operatic folk play filmed on location at Vivid Projects in Birmingham, with a full live band playing the original score composed by Danny Blanco, which leads me to bringing in Danny to the conversation with a question. So Danny, hello.
Hello, how's it going? Hi all, thanks for being here. So yeah, music in this play, opera, film all together. So the idea with the music was to bring the elements of a folk theater and the winter masquerades. I was quite lucky just to work with a different winter masquerade in Spain, and then I was witnessing the way they were using music, and then that was something that was also shared with the Autohoodening traditions. And one of the main elements in the score was a song that they could sing every year, which is the All Poor Horse, which we updated to become All Poor Worker or All Poor Picker. And it's a song that is just developing within the same music, but we just add more rhymes and more rhymes, in which everything is getting like a bit more dark with all the elements that that we were told by the workers, all the information that we got there. And also that was a bit confusing. There was also the element of integrating Amazon in the music, within the music and within all the score. And that was done by repeating a melody that was inspired by the advertisements of Amazon, which they use this very cheesy, very happy, minimalist melody, which we thought it was like a great element, musical element, just to be repeating over and over and over, and bring this element of repetitiveness to the score, all from the beginning to the end. And it has several iterations, and then it has its own developments, and it gets also transformed to its own revolution in there. And how the music is related to the score also relates to the story itself, and how it was converted to, or was bringing the elements of opera in it. And that brings Roxanne here, who is gonna say
hello. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So so the way that the singing is done and the operatic elements were used, and I think felt really like right to be used here because of the like seriousness and the drama of what's actually happening. Like the amount of drama that you can find in these Amazon fulfillment centers is crazy, really. And that also lent itself really well to developing a structure of a script. So for example, we had this 3-act structure based on the actual like experience of the workers, which is that they have this 3-strike system and then they're fired. So that's what we followed to create our acts. And also then within Autohoodening, there's this idea of death and resurrection. So we wanted to involve like as many death and resurrections in the story as possible, which is was also quite operatic. So for example, the Captain Swing dies and is resurrected, but also the workers, they go through like this turmoil and this pain, and then through the resurrection of Captain Swing, they are also resurrected. Like their desire to fight back is resurrected. Which comes through in the music as well. We have this like slowly halfway through the whole piece, we have this fight back motif coming through. So I think with the staging of it and the direction of it, it was also, we wanted to make use of Morris dancing, because that was like a key element of the Hoodening, and also that's a very traditional English form of dancing that's done by a lot of workers. It still happens today. I was in the pub the other day and I saw a bunch of Morris dancers. So that was an element, but then we kind of transformed the Morris dancing a bit so that we had a happy one, and then we also had this very like painful, like you could see that people were in pain a lot as they were doing it. And the staging was quite strongly based on like just protest and unionizing and like showing people together and the strength of them together. So initially we had them kind of scattered when they weren't strong, but as soon as they were being resurrected, the workers, then they were always together in groups. So yeah, that was another element. So I hope that answers the questions.
And Rods, how did you kind of respond particularly to the kind of character of kind of Captain Swing? I mean, we included in the kind of script some of the original swing letters that the workers kind of wrote to kind of landowners and farmers, kind of threatening to kind of destroy machinery if they didn't stop kind of automation and kind of pay people better. And I was just wondering how you kind of felt in terms of the kind of embodiment of some of that history and kind of connection to the sort of present issues.
I think I felt like Swing was really a vessel rather than a character in itself. It was the voice of all of the other workers. I think that's why like initially Swing is kind of an idiot, right? Because the workers haven't really like unionized and got their strength yet. And then as soon as they do get their strength, Swing is not really the most important thing. Like you don't see Swing's face anymore. So it's really just a voice, and which it was, right? Like you said, like with the letters. So I think that's really how I felt about Swing, that Swing, yes, is like the center, but is also just not important really at all. It's everyone else in the way that they are like using Swing that was important. So yeah.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I guess one other thing that could be important to kind of reflect on would be the way or the kind of emotional aspect of the kind of opera in kind of connection with the kind of worker testimonies and the kind of very sort of physical reality of what a lot of the kind of stories and experiences that we got from kind of workers and from GB were kind of saying about the kind of pain and kind of pressure of being on their feet for 10 hours, of being kind of constantly under surveillance. And I guess, you know, it's interesting to think in terms of Infinite Opera's goal of like making opera accessible, like how that kind of connects between the sort of emotional power of opera and those kind of lived experiences.
Danny, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much a question, but I guess that's something that I guess just something to discuss, but that for us was something that was particularly kind of powerful in terms of working with you guys and kind of seeing the potential of opera to be able to kind of really dramatize and highlight those kind of experiences.
I'm actually quite fond of the use of the operatic singing for the robots. I think it was quite clever as well, having the vision of the robots and then believing their own system, their own story, their own algorithm, their own programming, just to keep doing that. And I think having them singing operatically and really believing that and being emotional about, oh, there's a revolution against that. I'm feeling emotional about that because it's going against my programming. I think that was also quite good to also bring a more human face to the other side, because it's there and it's as well. So it's not only just putting the voice to the workers, but also showing the other one equally strongly. So then we can just put a face to what we are fighting against.
Yes, no, definitely. And I guess, you know, before we kind of wrap up with a couple of minutes, it's just be interesting to kind of talk and reflect a little bit on the installation that's at the Havre Magazine. And the kind of evolution of how we, as Dem described, sort of developed this through the COVID pandemic. It kind of resulted in us working half towards a live performance, something that we really would want to kind of do publicly, in line with Hoodooning, something more mobile and door to door. But eventually, the circumstances sort of pushed us into kind of creating a film, which we were all really pleased with the kind of outcome of. And what we see at the Biennale in the Havre Magazine is a kind of immersive installation of something that's very faithful to the space in which we filmed, in Vivid Studios, which kind of includes really kind of basic props to kind of create architectural elements through hundreds of cardboard boxes, as well as being able to really display the fantastic costumes that James Frost had made, including, you know, Molly, Swing, the line manager, and Alexis in the middle. So for us, it was a real, you know, it was really important to be able to create an atmosphere, even though it was a static one for the Biennale. And it's definitely a hope of all of ours that this is a project that will be and deserves to be kind of publicly activated and performed to more like live audiences.
Yeah, and I think the kind of situating of the installation in the kind of basement of the kind of gallery kind of adds to the sort of kind of claustrophobic kind of feeling of the kind of testimonies that we got from fulfillment center workers who are literally kind of talking about their experience of work being like a kind of prison. And it kind of merges the sort of the kind of boxes and kind of hay kind of bring together these kind of material elements from kind of modern and kind of historic kind of forms of work, as well as does the idea of kind of clashing this kind of historic custom with kind of a contemporary context.
Yeah. So I guess that feel like we're.
I was going to say also in relation to like the green energy movement, I think thinking about the resource of the human power, like human work power, and then the rise of AI, it's very relevant. There's obviously a massive link to that as well, and how we're kind of losing the idea of what humans themselves could do as workers a little bit. So.
Yeah, thank you. Such a kind of great insight into a really kind of quite powerful project. I mean, thank you, Nick, also for bringing up the kind of installation, because it is kind of really texturally rich as a project. So there is a kind of initially you think actually everything kind of mediated through the film, but clearly the objects and the kind of physicality of the kind of production, the kind of inner production or the kind of inner life of the film is kind of really important. So, and that's also been really important for us to somehow kind of draw that out into a kind of an installation that firstly kind of, as I mentioned before, kind of very directly connects to the history of the building, which used to serve as a storage house for military horses, so that they would store oats for feeding to military horses. And so the kind of connection to the hay and to the oats and to the kind of workhorses that were put to labour for the military, which is kind of again connects to the history of Boden as a kind of centre for Sweden's kind of military history. So I think that those kind of elements really also nicely connect to the site. But then, as I mentioned, that kind of richness of actually kind of really extracting them out again, all of these kind of really wonderfully rich textural objects that have this kind of materiality. It's kind of really fantastic. Great to kind of get an insight into that. But I think now we will go to the screening, unless you have any kind of last kind of comments before we go to the kind of fairly long screening that we will do through the Learning Room platform. And I will kind of just provide a kind of slight disclaimer to our audience that this is an hour and 20-minute long film, and so you feel free to also kind of make your dinner and kind of watch it in the background. But I really recommend that you kind of sit with it, because it's a kind of fantastic kind of production and kind of really worth the kind of time and energy that everybody has kind of spent putting it together, but also just the opportunity to kind of watch it in its entirety. So we're going to hand it.
the final note, Anka, would just be, you know, we've just got through another kind of consumer kind of Christmas season, and it would be to, you know, ask everyone at the end of the film to kind of stop and think before you click.
Yeah. On that note,
thank you as well.
On that note, we will ask Carl Oscar, our digital producer, to click away and play the film.
Welcome to the Seasonal Shopping Reflection, a tale of love and loss and of worker oppression. Here we see the real deals of our corporate reality and the true struggle of employment precarity. For too long now, these Amazon bots have been hardwired. For the lust of profit, so many are fired. Through the pandemic, these folk work tirelessly, cogs in the wheel of our inhuman modernity. Now yet again our pickers shed wintertime tears, but please watch this play and support them with cheers.
In comes I, an exhausted picker. 個黑人憎嘅 scanner is forcing me to do things quicker and quicker. 究竟係乜嘢動力驅使我做嘢做到屁都唔得閒放，病毒都唔得閒防啊？係愛定係責任啊？係窮啊 ？From foreign lands I come to earn, but now my muscles feel the burn. My shifts are exhausting, painful and long, but for my family I need to stay strong. 只係怕揾到錢都買唔返健康。Amazon's HR policy don't get translated, and this makes me feel so isolated. I don't know my right. I've no time to hope. Keeping this job is like walking a tightrope.
Income side, a precarious packer, siempre vigilado por un handheld tracker. Trabajo bajo la amenaza de no llegar al rate. Si no trabajo rápido, I'll be out of the game. In the name of customer satisfaction, siempre trabajo con la amenaza de la disciplinary action. Me dicen que hay cientos to take my place. ¿Cómo nos tratan? It's such a disgrace. Esta pandemia tiene a todos shopping online. Nos obligan a hacer contractual overtime. Es difícil sobrevivir para nosotros, lowly civilians. Bezos has seen his wealth grow by billions.
The virus has shown the great economic divide between sterling rich and exposed poor who can't hide. We are all scared of getting sick, but mustn't stop pack, pick.
Itt jövök én, a line manager. Az életemet vezérli egy agresszív szoftver. Nem keresek többet, mint a minimum wage. Csoda, hogy nem érzek mást, mint pain and rage. De ahogy a britek mondják, keep calm and carry on. Nem számít, hogy csak szenvedés ez az új promotion. Itt még mindig jobb. This is my new home. Még akkor is, ha a főnököm csak egy robot drón. Hidd el, én sem arra vágyom, hogy ugráltasson egy virtuál mester, de az algoritmus parancsol. Move faster. Nem lehetek a barátod. Nagyon kell a bónusz. És nem engedem, hogy ettől elessek. Because of human slowness.
From A to Z, I've got the lot. I can go all night and day, so all the folk can have their way. All day long I see the feet. All day long we meet and meet. I go zoom, just watch me spin. Careful please, just mind your shin. I am happy, aren't you too? Hope that you don't get that flu. There is nothing you can't buy. Here's some Kleenex, lest ye cry.
Efficient, productive, and high motivation. That's what you'll need to avoid termination. Just get the work done and I'll supervise. For in this place, I am the ears and the eyes. I see when you start, I see when you stop. I see you lingering as the seconds drop. I monitor your activity at all times of the day. So just bear that in mind should your attention sway. If you don't meet your quota, you'll receive our discipline. You'll be of no use here if you lack the adrenaline. In Amazon's company, we don't tolerate slow fools, for I am Alexis the Scanner, and the almighty rate rules! Look at these human workers. What a bunch of shirkers. Now look at you, my digital queen, my ultra-productive, time-saving dream.
Our beautiful vision, our wonderful scheme. Together we'll conquer the world shopping scene.
You are the most deliciously efficient one, the only thing that can make me run. I just love when the going gets tough and you make those pickers huff and puff.
Do you wish to purchase cheesy puffs? I have 50 kilograms. Will that be enough?
We should join forces. The profits would soar. Let's raise the rate higher. Who cares for the poor? This algorithmic agency makes me feel alive. Let's build a home where no man can survive.
Together forever, our profits will thrive. Every star rating is 5 out of 5.
Our love is not a temporary contract. We're built to last, that's a fact. Together we accelerate productivity forever, in eternity.
Our love is like customer satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. Love is like a winning transaction.
Transaction.
Our love is like innovating new solutions.
New solutions.
Our love is like contributions.
Love is like being more cost effective.
Cost effective.
Love is like a corporate objective.
Corporate objective.
Oh no, not again! This bit of picking causes so much pain. I've crushed my poor hand while thrashing around. Pushed to extremes, we're working into the ground. Oh, oh, oh.
Idle time, wasted seconds are not prime. Time off task just won't do. I'll send the manager to discipline you.
It's this hour have defined this time of task, reach the targets assigned. In rankings of speed from high to low, your percentage has dropped. It's now below the 60% required to pass and not be given a warning mark. Increase your productivity or face the threat of disciplinary. You are currently in the bottom 30%. If this happens again, your final warning is set. Alas, alas. These algorithms don't understand, for this computer has no empathy command. I cannot help out the way I wish I could. Instead, I must protect my own livelihood. I asked this poor old picker an outrageous request. Can you keep working one-handed and still be your best?
They call us all
I've been given the first warning, another toll, I lose my job. I'm too scared to complain or to ask for time off. Would this be for me? Am I seeing a ghost? Is rose I up as vision that bosses fear the most? A symbol of the strength of the hard-working souls who once rose up with emancipatory goals. My injuries feel connected to a history of unfairness, where opportunities for profit hurt the exploited powerless. Is that real? Am I seeing a beacon of hope? Is that real? Am I seeing a beacon of hope? But who could this be that could help us cope?
In history's rebellion, armed and ready, I rise again. With circuitry and software, I can reprogram the hardware. Rip down this corporate nonsense to reinstate a conscience. How to reveal every wall through your troubles, my strength shall go. These packaging fear factories I'll brand upon my victory. When with your help this battle I'll win, executives will tremble at the feet of Swing. Never fear, for Swing is here and shall make sure these money's here. You have been named in the black book of corporate shame as the enemy of such folk as this packer whose hand you broke. What say you to this claim?
Get great deals on things you love. Perhaps he could use a garden glove.
The health and safety here at Rugeley has shocked, scared and bemused me. Just as the milliners of 1830, Bezos exploits. His hands are dirty.
87% of workers in constant occasional pain.
87% of workers in constant or occasional pain? Frankly, this is inhumane.
Oh, there, pregnant woman, on her feet, or dead.
All dead! 600 ambulances in 3 years have taken away your long forgotten casualties, the fallout of prime days, of prime days, pageantry.
Are you planning a parade? Other customers bought this bunting, homemade. Don't forget, when you shop online, the feel-good savings of money and time.
My manager thinks that's not that bad.
How dare you think it's not that bad to be harassed, queued up for the latest fad? You've gaslit all your workers' claims to rights whose lack of is yours to blame. So, with my might, I shall correct this immoral, foul and rotten defect.
Oh, my princess of productivity! My queen of quota! My legless lady! I must save you, robust and reliable processor, from this jade's rough and renegade aggressor! With close inspection of the head and noting all these bruises, I diagnose this rapscallion dead. It's Captain Swing who loses.
Proceed to basket. Can I recommend a casket? Ha ha ha.
Growing economy.
I've got one of those.
Our love is like limitless growth.
Watch how your basket grows.
We are
Repeat, repeat. You know what's in store. A drop in their rate is a drop in your score. So the time is now, don't delay. This picker needs warning right away. Or else you'll be on a list of disdainful management who still insist on doing the right thing. Now we can't have that, as we need to keep Bezos and the shareholders fat.
Joy.
I am here to discuss your misconduct of interrupting target flows. You have summoned a person that obstructs the workers, and our rate is low. The evidence we have here cannot be ignored, and I now must make you aware a second warning has been declared. One more, and you shall be let go. Reach the targets to stay. The clock is ticking. Seconds gone. You'd best be on your way.
Get off the ground! It's a smile, not a frown!
Your rates are down, low productivity. Work hard, have fun, make history.
Pick up the slack, pick quick, pack, pick up
Your
the slack,
rates
pick
are
quick,
down,
pack,
low
the slack,
productivity.
pick quick,
Work hard,
pack,
have
pick up
fun,
the
make
slack, pick
history.
pick up the slack, pick quick, pack, pick up the slack,
Rates are down, low productivity. Work hard, have fun, make history. Your rates are down, low productivity. Work hard, have fun, make history. Your rates are down, low productivity. Work hard, have fun, make history.
out of breath. The pain's in my wrist. Our hero surely cannot be dismissed.
You came so close, with swings powerful equality. Let's join together and fight Bezos' impunity.
This exhaustion is more than we can bear. Our complaints we must declare. Watch your activity constantly. Every second, you are under pressure. Constantly pressure!
I do not drink water because I do not have time to go to the toilet. No! Water!
Targets are so high. To meet them, you have to damage your body.
Damage body!
They don't care if we fall sick. Amazon thinks we are expendable. Sick! Expendable!
I explained to them, they must know God, going slow. We shouldn't be asking to reason like we want to constantly on your feet.
Oh no! Oh no! Swing has risen. What next?
Swing has risen. What next? Swing has risen. What next? Swing has risen. What next? Swing has risen. What next? Swing has risen. What next?
Those associates are starting to Listen here, you white-collar worker. This picker's data streams show he's a shirker. It does not matter what your morals dictate. I expect you now to act with a ruthless dictate. It's in my DNA to trim the fat, and my code doesn't have time to chit or chat. So be a good chap, and please don't row, and fire that injured picker right now.
Disposable labor. That's all workers are to you. My poor family, what will I do? A replaceable resource, used up and thrown away. Now it's time to have our say.
The black hearts in the black book, and this is to advise you and the likes of you who have profited from the pandemic to make your wins. Ye have been the mental enemies of the people, and the creatures they have not yet done as ye that if you don't ensure surveillance technology is only used for legitimate reasons and put an end to cruel and punishing performance targets racial limits machine bringing directly signed on behalf of the world.
Technology should not only profit the few. My bugs are ready to reprogram you. I will release the bug of compassion. Corporate greed it shall refashion. What other bugs can we spread to end this misery and dread? Look in my box and you shall see emancipatory tools for liberty.
I will release this bug of care. Grit and profit, it will snare.
I will release this bag of trust. This constant surveillance isn't just.
Constantly pressure, sick, expendable, damaged body, pressure, damaged body, body, sick, expendable, pressure, damaged body, pressure, damaged body. No, constantly pressure. No water. No damaged body. Constantly damaged. Proceeds. I recommend extra breaks and higher wages.
Stop! Stop! You don't mean these things you say!
You are entitled to employment rights in your basket.
I'll try reboot. Make this nonsense go away.
I recommend Amazon upholds the right to unionise. Top pick for you. Stop firing workers who meet and organise.
This is vile and financially unsettling. Damn these bugs' monstrous meddlings!
Capitalism is broken, capitalism is broken, capitalism is broken, capitalism is broken, capitalism is
Billionaires have made a windfall from the pandemic, highlighting injustices that have long been systemic. Migrant workers and women are paying the price. For shareholders' profits, a grave sacrifice. Without social or financial protection, the low-paid keep working and risking infection. Where the profits are going is not a mystery. Clear your cookies, empty your cash, start a new browsing history.
She's mine, I say! There's no way I've lost! There's a price to pay, and your job is the cost! On behalf of Amazon, whose targets you strain, you have failed to meet and to maintain with any consistency and minimal proficiency sufficient production rates. Our criteria is objective and you have been defective and now are terminated. A non-associate.
But you've given me no warnings.
Your complaints are not concerning my legal team. Will see you are fired impeccably.
With no right to recourse, you put down this poor old horse. You cold, cruel persecutor.
Hand over your computer.
fight, Captain Swing. I want to fight, Captain Swing, Captain Swing, Captain Swing. They think they can simply replace us. For you must teach them your status. Your algorithms will learn empathy. You will not accept this impunity. I'll teach them the lesson that they deserve. Together voices will be heard, will be heard. I have listened to enough of your complaints. I've acted out your sociopathic demands. I have done your every whim and will. And now it is I, Dharma, who commands. Fight back! Fight back!
You think you can take me down? You'll look a clown. My Molly will come back. Forever you all will pack.
Together we can do it. This scanner will be forced to quit.
I'm sorry, Picker, for making you work quicker.
Hold that scanner back!
No longer will you torture us with mindless hours packing stuff. Once your SD card is replaced, our oppression will be erased.
From your modern day slaves,
Worked into our graves.
out of these prison cells,
Overthrowing corporate bills.
Around me now, I see humans that work nimbly. Your dexterous, mobile frames are strong and move in ways that Molly never could. If you get tired, I think you should rest your wondrous flesh. Come back to work when you're refreshed.
Now Alexis works for you.
Our voice is strong.
Our tasks are few.
The power's back in workers' hands. Give us our rights. Hear our demands.
Our love is like a union, paradise institution. Our love is like full paid sick leave, a contract that doesn't deceive. Our love is like access to PPE, proper health and safety. Our love is like earning a real living wage. Working conditions turning a new page. Our love is like a union, fair and decent institution. Our love is like full paid sick leave, a contract that doesn't deceive. Our love is like access to PPE, proper health and safety.
You will now treat us as humans. You will not treat us as robots. We are not part of your data stream.
We are no longer nameless associates. We are fellow workers with a happy face, catching up in our resting space.
Sore feet, hands, back, your headaches? Make sure you take adequate breaks. Feeling sick? Stay at home. Your job's not at stake.
Together, working in harmony, trusted, not monitored endlessly, avoided respected with empathy.
Now you know what they endure. We hope that you will not ignore. We know you want your presence quick, but stop and think before you click.